Where all the people that she not gonna do that? Let her cook. I want to know what y'all.
As the rumors of Caitlin Clark heading to Europe grow louder, something unexpected is unfolding behind the scenes at ESPN. This is the same network that spent most of the season downplaying her talent, minimizing her impact, and giving her little of the credit she deserved. And now they're suddenly front and center acting like they have a say in whether she stays or goes. But it feels too late, because maybe, just maybe, they're starting to realize what they had, only now that they're on the verge of losing it.
Okay, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their intention, and they're not as talented, and we're not putting the best.
Season long, ESPN seemed determined to downplay Caitlin Clark's impact. At one point, analyst Molly Karam even claimed she was mocking the game, mocking it, seriously. How do you say that with a straight face? Caitlin didn't just play, she shifted the entire conversation. She brought energy, attention, and passion to the sport in a way that few ever have. Love her or not, she made people watch, talk, and care. That's not disrespecting the game, that's moving it forward.
League versus Caitlin Clark, and that is just absolutely false. It is unfair to the women that have been there building this league to this moment so that Caitlin Clark's popularity could...
Caitlin Clark took more hits than anyone this season, literally. She led the league in fouls drawn and even showed up with a black eye at one point. Yet some so-called experts claimed she wasn't being targeted, as if the footage didn't speak for itself. Now, with the season behind her, Caitlin finally has space to breathe and maybe consider a move to Europe. One that could shake the very core of the WNBA and leave ESPN scrambling. Because if they couldn't value her while she was here, they're about to learn just how loud her absence can be.
Making a basketball argument.
We're not saying No, Andrea, I'm not going to let you do that.
Go ahead,
Andrea, I'm not going to let you make it seem like Caitlin Clark was averaging 5 points a game. At the time, she was still averaging 16 points a game, which was more than a lot of other guards that made the team. So don't do that. Don't make it seem like she was averaging 5 points and this was like a...
It's becoming more obvious by the day ESPN never really knew how to handle the spotlight Caitlin Clark brings. And now, with reports that she might take her talents to Europe, the panic is starting to show. For months, they minimized her impact, propped up others, and ignored her biggest moments. But now, they're scrambling because deep down they know the truth. If Caitlin steps away from the American game, it won't just affect the WNBA. It'll leave ESPN with a gaping hole, no highlight clips, no viral headlines, no ratings bump. The very star they tried to overlook may be the one they simply can't afford to lose.
Her value is felt every place she goes, every arena she goes. TV, ratings.
For months, ESPN has slowly chipped away at Caitlin Clark's reputation, constantly second-guessing her game, downplaying her influence, and stacking her up against Angel Reese at every turn. From day one, they pushed the narrative that, despite her undeniable talent and massive fan base, Caitlin just wasn't living up to the hype. They questioned whether she belonged among the league's elite. Some even accused her of disrespecting the women's game with how she played. And fanning those flames, analysts like Molly Karam and Monica McNutt, who didn't challenge the bias, but instead added to it. This wasn't just sports commentary. It felt targeted. It felt personal.
The response of folks that don't think she is praised enough and she is above reproach in terms of criticism, or that praising another player is an affront to her, is like, whoa, bro. You're not mentioning talking about women's basketball? I've never ever seen you.
In this is where karma comes knocking. ESPN is feeling the heat, and rightfully so. If Caitlin Clark really does head to Europe, they'll lose the centerpiece of their coverage, the criticism she faced all season. It started to feel less like analysis and more like a calculated effort to keep her in the shadows while others were spotlighted. They underestimated her talent, her resilience, and the loyalty of her fans. And now, the same player they dismissed as overhyped, the one they treated like a media product instead of a generational athlete, is on the verge of leaving. With her departure looming, ESPN is scrambling, trying to rewrite the very story they spent months shaping against her.
You guys were right. That's what we're saying. You
no,
were right.
Molly, you did not say that, Molly. No,
That's what you said.
That's not what you said, Molly.
What are you guys?
Throughout all the noise, only a few voices truly stood by Caitlin Clark. Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe never wavered. They reminded viewers just how talented she was and how much she had already earned through her historic college run. Both called it like they saw it. Caitlin was being unfairly targeted, not just by critics at ESPN, but by some WNBA players as well. Despite already proving herself as one of the league's top young stars, the criticism kept coming. Meanwhile, ESPN voices like Monica McNutt and Molly Karam continued to push the idea that she needed to be humbled as if she hadn't already earned her place. But Caitlyn didn't blink. She handled the spotlight, the scrutiny, the praise, and the backlash with remarkable grace. She didn't just survive her rookie season, she owned it. She lifted the Indiana fever, shut down the noise, and showed what real resilience looks like. Caitlyn Clark didn't just show up, she proved she was here to stay.
We would love for the WNBA to make voting not anonymous. Because if you were the person that had that one vote, you should just be able to stand on it, and we should know who you are. In the NBA, voting is not anonymous. Yeah. So I would love for the WNBA to make the voting so we see who put the votes where.
Taking the Indiana Fever to their first postseason in years was no easy task, especially for a franchise used to sitting at the bottom of the standings. But Caitlyn Clark didn't just get through her rookie season, she lit it up, game after game. She silenced critics with clutch performances and fearless play. The pressure never let up. The spotlight never faded, but she carried it all with calm, confidence, and incredible poise. Her leadership, her court vision, her ability to shift the momentum, it changed the entire energy around the team. Caitlyn took a forgotten roster and turned it into a playoff threat. And in doing so, she proved to the world that she's not just a rising star, she's a once-in-a-generation talent.
Indiana Fever have 2 All-Stars in their starting lineup. They also have the reigning Rookie of the Year. Chicago has none of that. So the lift for Angel Reese has been...
Seat first. It didn't matter what Caitlyn Clark did, how many records she shattered, how many crowds she electrified. ESPN had already picked their story, and she just didn't fit in. Week after week, they brushed off the magic, called the hype too loud, too soon. But as the season wore on, something changed. Her greatness became undeniable. The numbers, the moments, the energy too big to ignore. And just like that, the tone shifted suddenly. The same voices that once questioned her were celebrating her, as if they'd always believed. The turnaround wasn't subtle, it was whiplash. And for those who'd watched it all unfold, the praise didn't feel like respect. It felt like a cover-up. Like they weren't just admitting they were wrong, they were pretending they never were.
If we say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5.6 turnovers,
Those are hell of a numbers.
But to me, that's not...
Here's the thing, Caitlyn Clark never needed ESPN's stamp of approval. She didn't wait for applause, didn't chase headlines. She just showed up, game after game, and proved the doubters dead wrong in a season where many expected her to crack under pressure. She stood taller than ever, facing not just defenders on the court, but critics from all sides, players, pundits, even the league itself. And still, she rose. Every moment she stayed true to herself was a quiet rebellion. So if she's now eyeing Europe, a place where her brilliance might actually be welcomed, it wouldn't be hard to understand, because if she walks away, the message will echo far beyond the scoreboard. This is what happens when you fail to value a generational talent. Through it all, Caitlyn didn't just survive, she soared. She didn't just compete, she led. And by the final buzzer, there was no question left to ask. She was the Rookie of the Year. In every way that mattered.
Stop being petty. Stop being catty. Because she like a double-edged sword. She couldn't tell left and right. And it's bothering y'all, and I see it. Let's go, Caitlyn. Hey, do me a favor, CC. Send your favorite a jersey with your autograph on it.
Caitlyn Clark decides to take her talents overseas. That's when the real impact will be felt. That's when ESPN and the WNBA might finally realize what they let slip through their fingers. They had every opportunity to champion her, to stand behind one of the brightest stars to ever step into the league, but instead, they questioned her, doubted her, downplayed everything she brought to the game. What they didn't see or refuse to admit is that players like Caitlyn don't come around often. And when they do, they don't come alone. She brought energy. She brought eyes. She brought a wave of fans who tuned in for her asterisk. She was the spark behind the WNBA's biggest surge in viewership in years. And if she walks away, that spark might go with her. Those fans, they'll follow. And the league that spent so long minimizing her impact may only understand what it lost when it's already too late.
Draft day viewership, which is up 400% to 40%. Between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%. Between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%. What Caitlyn Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in
Caitlin Clark walking away wouldn't just shake the WNBA. It would send shockwaves through ESPN, too, because for all the criticism, all the jabs and second guessing, one truth remained. Caitlin was the story. She dominated the conversation, even when they tried to downplay her shine. She sparked debates, drove ratings, and kept fans locked in whether they loved her or loved to doubt her. ESPN built entire segments around her name, and now, if she leaves, they don't just lose a player, they lose the headline, the drama, the buzz, one of the biggest narratives they had all season gone. And they'll feel that silence loud and clear.
About the most watched WNBA Finals game ever. You know why? Because I've been telling you about the Caitlin Clark impact. It's nice to see something other than Caitlin Clark having a profound...
Better or worse, Caitlin Clark owned the spotlight at ESPN, whether they were criticizing her or cautiously cheering her on. She was the heartbeat of their women's basketball coverage. Every step she took, every pass, every quote, every headline was dissected and debated. And if she chooses to take her talents to Europe, one question will hang heavy in the air. What does ESPN talk about without her? Her absence wouldn't just leave a gap, it would leave a silence. A missing pulse in WNBA programming. SportsCenter would scramble for a new story to anchor the narrative. Because Caitlin hasn't just filled airtime, she's shaped the way people talk about the league. She's made women's basketball matter in a way few ever have. If the WNBA wants to keep her, they need to rise to the moment. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just a standout rookie, she's a movement, and if she walks, it won't be the end of her story. She'll still shine, still lead, still inspire, just somewhere else. What's shifting now is deeper than geography, it's power. Athletes like Caitlin are starting to realize they don't have to wait for the league or the networks to validate them. They can write their own stories, and Caitlin, she's already picked up the pen.